Hey, my name is Joonas Kyllien and I am the CEO and co-founder of Norders Demand Agency. And in this video, I'll quickly go through what our commercial thought leadership playbook is and how it can help your B2B technology or service business to grow instantly. All right, so let's get started. So why commercial thought leadership framework in the first place? What's happening in the world right now in B2B sales and marketing that requires a new approach to sales and marketing? Well, first of all, decisions now go more and more to the most trusted service provider / product. So decision makers, buyers, they don't even the pie equally, so to say, anymore. But more and more decisions, more and more the euros and the dollars go to the one who is the most trusted, the best known, and being viewed as the number one in the category. At the same time, decision makers go through the buyer journey more and more independently. It's a digital buyer journey these days. So we do research, we do shortlisting, we do background checks, we do most of the buying process, the purchase process independently right now. And we often meet with the service providers, with the product developers at the very last minute. These alone have made a huge shift in the marketplace. And that being combined, how now, for example, in B2B, especially LinkedIn is the number one channel where to find and share information, and where it's more and more people-driven and vision-driven instead of feature or even brand-driven. It's a new game for B2B companies across the board in all of the categories, in markets and industries. And often B2B companies are being left with the challenges of not having enough resources in the first place. There's new AI tools every day, there's new technologies every day. So how can B2B companies stay on track of all of these things? Just the time and human resource is so limited to stay on track of all the different changes and movements in the market, the disruptions in the market. So it requires a more holistic playbook that is created and designed in the first place to adapt to these changes and to live with them. At the same time, we see that many B2B brands, they struggle still with content creation and distribution, especially when it comes to personal brand-driven content creation and distribution. Most of the B2B companies now know that they should empower and deploy their key personal leaders, such as the management team and the sales team and the communication team, for example, to tell the brand story, to share more information across the channels, especially on LinkedIn, but it still seems to be an obstacle to get them do so. And these lead to the more classic sales bottlenecks. Not enough qualified leads because the brand is not well enough known in the target audience, and that alone leads to longer and longer sales cycles. So commercial thought leadership is designed to solve these challenges. It positions your brand as the clear number one, as the best among your unique target audience with your unique value proposition. Then it systematically builds that famous trust in your unique decision maker list. And eventually it activates your target audience to move through the buyer journey. And this brand awareness plus lead generation is really the heart of commercial thought leadership. So thought leadership alone, so just creating cool content and distributing it is not enough. But then commercial activities such as outbound or outreach alone is also not enough. We need to combine those two. And this is an age-old conversation, right? Combining, integrating sales and marketing activities. But now there's a new holistic single playbook called Commercial Thought Leadership Playbook that finally allows fast-moving, bold B2B brands and leaders do so. Okay, let's move forward. It's deployed in 4 phases. First one is building the Commercial Thought Leadership Playbook for your B2B brand. So it all starts with understanding your unique market and what your unique value prop for them is, and then crystallizing that. Then we need content plans for these key personal that we have identified in your company that are the most interesting for your target audience to deliver that message of your unique value prop. Then we want to deploy modern AI tools to automate as much of the content distribution, content creation even, and then the lead generation activities as possible to be able to constantly hear from the market, understand the market, get the signals from the buyers, but also from the market to iterate and update the campaigns. It's a 10-part process of a playbook. I'll link it in below so you can read more about it as well. Once we understand or have defined your target audience and understand or have clarified your unique value prop, we then want to create content across the buyer journey. And across the buyer journey is the key here. So we don't want just to create videos and photographies for the awesomeness of it. It's fun to create those, it's fun to distribute those, it's fun to watch those, but we want to touch every single point of the buyer journey. So we have created this 100 video and photography production sprint. It's a single production day where we both remotely and usually at a studio or maximum in 2 locations get these 100 assets done in a single day. And they're planned very carefully at the playbook phase so that we touch every single buyer journey touch point, every single part of the purchasing process with this content. Because remember, the buying process is now independent and it's digital, so we want to have content to help your target audience go through that funnel independently. It's a well-planned day with 100 assets as an outcome. So now we have the strategy in place, we have the target audience defined, and we have content to reach them. Then it's the actual distribution, brand awareness stage. We usually start with LinkedIn, but always work in a multi-channel fashion. Nobody knows what's going to be the hot next channel in a month or 6 months. But we start optimizing the key personal LinkedIn profiles and schedule posts from 2 to 3 posts minimum from the content production sprint to their channels. And then we also either help your marketing team or we can also at Norders distribute the content across the different social media channels that are relevant for your brand message to be delivered from. And once we have now optimized the company and personal social media profiles, LinkedIn personal profiles, LinkedIn company profile, and so on, then we start activating the target audience from them. And LinkedIn really views their personal profile page as a landing page these days. It has really cool new features that actually make it look like a landing page too. So we want to start driving traffic from your unique dream audience to your personal profile landing pages, personal LinkedIn profiles. And that is done through a feature called LinkedIn Network Automation. So whereas I can go and click connect with a LinkedIn personal profile, we can automate that sequence. And we create the contact decision maker list from the defined dream audience in the beginning. And then from your key personal profiles, from your personal brands, we send from their profiles the connection request. So we invite your audience, your ICP, to your network, to your personal brands networks. So they start creating brand awareness. They start visiting the profiles. They start seeing their content on their feeds. And so we start creating brand awareness. And these network automation sequences can also include follow-up messages that can have a stronger or a softer CTA, such as, would you be interested in having a meeting? Would you be interested in joining a webinar? Would you be interested in hearing more or watching a video? So that is the first automation stage. We use tools like Sales Navigator in defining the list for each personal brand. And then we use a tool called HeyReach, where you can now see an example of the sequence that we then automate. Okay, but maybe you've also noticed this in LinkedIn especially, that it's good to keep the connection messaging and the DMs fairly warm and soft. So you don't want to go too hard trying to make a sale there. And often the goal of the next lead generation phase is to have a meeting or have a demo from your potential audience, from your dream target group with your sales team. And that is best still done through your website, through events, through lead magnets, and through cold email outreach, which in this case is already a pretty warm email outreach. So once our ideal target audience has seen our content on LinkedIn and in other social media channels, we can then activate them further via these cold email campaigns or awareness and retargeting ads to make that meeting scheduling or book that demo call or whatever is the definition of the lead in your case at this point. And this is the lead generation phase. So we execute ABM level email outreach campaigns to the same audience that has seen your ads, has seen your content, has now become part of your key personals networks on LinkedIn, and then lead magnets such as webinars, calculators, ultimate guides, they perform extremely well. So we want to utilize those as well. And one thing we keep seeing over and over again is that decision makers spend more and more time on websites. So we really do want to make sure that everything they need to know to be able to make that purchase can be found from your website. So we want to optimize those too. It's a multi-stage process, and every funnel is a bit different, right? Every brand, depending on your market, depending on your target audience, are we talking to the technical people, are we talking to the marketing people, HR people? They have different interests, how they want to consume content and which channels they want to go through. But sort of the overall tactics remain the same. And that's it. That's the 4 stages, 4 phases that we go through. Here are the deliverables. At the end of the day, it's all about the results. So even though you'll get a dedicated team throughout this entire process that constantly iterate what is being done and minimize the time required from your team, it's still about the results, right? And the typical final results, how Norders success is measured, is through meetings or booked demos, as I said. And depending, once again, your target audience, do we want to meet manager level people from a market that we already have presence in? So for example, if you operate in Finland or in Sweden and you want to start reaching more people from your local market, then it's obviously a lot easier than if you want to take your brand that has never been mentioned before in the United States and want to start getting leads from California. That is going to take a bit longer of a time and the initial lead amount is going to be smaller. But typically we talk between 5 and 40 leads a month, and always quality leads that make the sales cycle shorter, because we only generate leads from target audiences that are aware of your brand and are aware of your unique value proposition and how it can affect them. They have seen content like these videos before meetings, before booking the demo, and they have spent time on your website. So no pushing cold calls from our end. We do this in 3 typical packages that you can see here. You can get started with our network builder package with just 500 euros a month, where we optimize your LinkedIn profile, build you the playbook, and start inviting your dream customers to your personal LinkedIn profile network. And that is a great, easy way to get started. Then we have additional packages that include the production sprints, landing pages, lead magnets, all the way to awareness and retargeting ads and personal email campaigns. And you can go with one of these packages, or then we often tailor make the packages to suit your specific, unique need, position, and internal team. We work best with teams that have a strong visionary founder or a CEO or another management team person who believes in the power of brand, and also the team typically includes at least a commercial leader such as sales director and at least a marketing manager, where we can have the marketing manager usually as our day-to-day partner in crime. We work currently with over 30 companies, 30 B2B companies, mostly from service and technology such as SaaS space, but we also work with professional sports teams and also with enterprise businesses that want to maybe pilot a new service or a new market. Then our framework is really great for that as well. We're a passionate team of 12 people, HQing here in Espoo, Finland, but help global international, national B2B brands across the globe. And next step is easy. Give me a call or send me a message on iMessage or WhatsApp, or book directly a 30-minute completely free discovery call, and we can understand more about your business and I can explain more about the commercial thought, the leadership framework, and see if it's what your brand needs. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to taking this to the next level.